Good morning and happy Monday. Today is November 10th. I'm Megan Vaselli.
Good morning. I'm Kirk Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us today. All of the top stories in a moment, but first, here's Katie with your forecast first.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, misery loves company, so why not share the colder air with the nation? Look at how blue the map is. We're seeing that all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Miami just perpetually exempt from it at 76. But you see Memphis, 29 degrees, in the 30s over towards Dallas. In the heart of the nation, there's purple with temperatures in the low 20s to teens. We're at 19 in Lansing. Feels like 11. This colder air won't be here forever, though, so we can look ahead to more optimistic temperatures coming up in the full forecast.
Mid-Michigan, of course, dealing with our first snowfall of the season. With that, these bitterly cold temperatures, it's prompting Lansing officials to activate the city's Code Blue emergency cold weather plan.
Now, it's going to remain in effect until tomorrow morning, allowing local shelters to temporarily increase capacity and alter hours.
Warming centers include the Letts Community Center, Holy Cross New Hope Community Center, the Outreach Drop-In Center at City Rescue Mission, and Advent House. The city says people can also warm up during regular business hours at public buildings like the Foster, Geyer, and Schmidt Community Centers, libraries, and the CATA Transportation Center. Code Blue will remain in effect until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Day 41 of the federal government shutdown, and finally there may be a light at the end of the tunnel.
The Senate has approved an initial step that could end the impasse later this week. Bradley Blackburn is here for you with a closer look at this rare weekend session.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
The Senate approved a first step to push through legislation that could end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history after a group of mostly moderate Democrats made a deal with Republicans. The Senate and House still need to approve the full measure.
All of us, Republicans and Democrats, who support this bill know that the time to act is now.
Democrats had demanded any funding package include expiring health care subsidies. The deal grants them a vote next month on extending the tax credits.
This was the only deal on the table. It was our best chance to reopen the government.
The agreement comes after the Supreme Court issued an emergency order late Friday, halting the payout of full SNAP benefits. 42 million Americans used the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to buy food. There were long lines over the weekend in Southern California at a distribution site for the LA Regional Food Bank, and major concerns for those in need in the Boston area.
At the end of the day, they are people who are seniors and veterans and families with children and working families that really are just looking for some answers.
Adding to the shutdown chaos, air travelers are coping with massive disruptions as the FAA ordered airlines to cut flights at the nation's busiest airports.
We need to figure it out as a country. Get it together.
A compromise was reached in this case, but it's not a done deal just yet. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
This morning, we're seeing reaction from lawmakers over the funding measure, including Michigan U.S. Senators Elissa Slotkin and Gary Peters.
Senator Slotkin says she voted no on the appropriations deal, claiming it won't resolve what she calls the Trump administration's health care crisis.
Now, she said in part to earn her vote, Republicans, quote, would have to do something to bring down the cost of health care for working and middle-class Michiganders. She goes on to say that the promise of a vote is in over a month does not meet that threshold, but President Trump's big, beautiful bill has plunged America into a health care crisis.
Democratic U.S. Senator Gary Peters also speaking out against the funding measure. He says he couldn't get behind a deal that would not, quote, prevent Michiganders' health care costs from skyrocketing more than they already have. Be sure to stay with 6 News on air and online at WLNS.com as we continue to bring you the latest updates from Capitol Hill.
A Jackson County man behind bars this morning after deputies discovered a small child that they say had obvious signs of neglect. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says the discovery was made after they received what appeared to be a sexual and domestic assault report on Friday. That led officials to a home where they found the child with the suspect, a 32-year-old man from Parma Township. The Sheriff's Office says because of the obvious signs of neglect, the child, whose age has not been released, was taken to a hospital hospital for treatment, and deputies contacted Children's Protective Services. The identity of the man is not available yet, but officials say he will be charged with first-degree child abuse and domestic assault.
Today marks 50 years since the tragic sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
It was once the largest ship on the Great Lakes until it sunk to the bottom of Lake Superior during a violent storm.
All 29 crew members lost their lives on this day in 1975, and historians even now still aren't sure what exactly caused the freighter to capsize. Special tributes will happen today to honor the crew members. The Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum at Whitefish Point will hold a public remembrance this afternoon, as well as a private ceremony for family members of the Fitzgerald's crew. Meanwhile, the Mariners Church of Detroit will host a bell-ringing event for the crew members, as well as all others who've lost their lives on the Great Lakes.
Starting today, auditions will be held for those interested in being a part of the first play in more than a century at Howell's Historic Opera House. The Opera House, originally built in 1881, is under new leadership at the Livingston Arts Council. The organization plans to bring the stage to life next year with the Pirates of Penzance. Now, however, the building is still undergoing renovations. It does not yet have heat or air conditioning. The group also wants to improve accessibility inside, and all of this is happening after the state allocated $2 million to give Howell and the county an arts renaissance.
The event is so important because it will help us celebrate where we're going, as well as saying goodbye to this space, and help, rededicate it to the community. And
the performance is set for next spring, and auditions will be held today through Wednesday.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It has stopped snowing in Lansing, though the wind's still gusting out there, and when you look up in the sky, you'll notice our clouds have cleared out, so that colder air definitely still here, and that's keeping the snow on the ground. Accumulations were around 1 to 3 inches, right on with the forecast, with the top spot being Hillsdale at the 3-inch mark. Here in Lansing, we kind of finished things up with around 1 2/10 of an inch of snow. Now, we are going to be seeing the chance for a few more flurries in the next few days, but it's not going to really change these totals. In fact, we're actually going to be seeing the snow actively melting in the sunshine. That means if you want to create cool creations like this one, do it today. Love the use of the flowers, mixing it in with very dirty snow, but that's an early season snowman for you. Miss Flower Claus looking fabulous for the morning. Not as fabulous the temperatures for early morning walks. Bella, not seeing snow in that photo, but could see some this morning. I'd say hold off until the afternoon for better temperatures to take your pets outside.